I'm going to turn back on YouTube and see if it works. Now that I'm not, like, latency is not as big of a concern. I can handle like little lag spikes here and there better. For Yogan, yes, please link it. We'll take a quick look at it. I appreciate your thoughts. Yeah. And today's picture is one that Pepper found. And it's of me when I'm like 1 or 2. I guess I'm like 2 or 3 actually now that I think about it. Maybe like 3. And Pepper could not stop laughing at this picture because my father, for whatever reason, is just straight up mogging. And I don't know why. My father is mewing live on camera. I don't know why my dad was mogging so hard, to be honest. Weren't you streaming a few hours ago? Yeah. Well, now that I'm not playing, I can afford for the latency to be atrocious. I look devious and stupid. This picture is awful of me. Like, look at this. I look like such a fresh little. I look like one of those bad children. You know what I'm saying? So But dude, why is my father mewing? Why is my father mogging? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. Here's the same, yep. Yeah, it's straight up. That's so I have no idea. But yeah, we'll do our Sierra critique. Wait. It's in content suggestions? Okay, I'll check it out. Fixing Sierra's biggest problem. I'm very open to solutions here. I have a lot of ideas with problems, but I think more so than anything else, I'll try to provide an educated critique of Sierra and then leave it to other hands. But I'm willing to throw in a couple of ideas. If he was to come out of the womb without a full broccoli top? No, my hair was always really short. I've always had really curly hair. My mom has really curly hair. Not really curly hair, actually. It gets curly when it's longer, but I've always had very short hair, like pretty shortish hair up until I was like 17, 18. I was a well-behaved child, though. All of my siblings were well-behaved children. Let's take a look at this really fast.
Season 2 of Overwatch to a mild reception. Most of the talk about Sierra is around her auto-aim dart. I've seen a lot of complaints online about it being broken, and that auto-aim generally has no place in a competitive shooter whatsoever. It seems like the majority of the player base thinks that Sierra is OP, but the truth is that she's just kind of okay. Having played Sierra almost exclusively since her release, I have a pretty good understanding of her strengths and weaknesses. She shines in lower elo where players generally don't know how to position, as she is incredibly good at vomiting damage down a lane, with her nade dealing about 60 to 100 damage depending on what part of the AoE that actually hits you, and with the gun that has not a lot of spread, really any spread, or damage drop-off, simply shooting down main will get you a lot of value. Since metal rank players generally just run it down main, her AoE value skyrockets, and she gets to utilize the full potential of her auto-aim dart since the players are unlikely to use cover in these lower ranks. Now, I've played her from silver lobbies all the way up to diamond lobbies, so I've noticed that her dart value as well as her AoE value starts to drop off in higher elo games, as players generally spread out more around the map and play around cover. Now, you could argue that her ability to punish poor positioning...
People definitely think she's OP. You're just in the wrong rank. You look at Blizzard forums and like others, she legitimately is. I was watching, I told you this I was saying something, was it Saturday or Thursday we were talking about this? I was watching one of those Dark Souls video essay guys, ranking guys that I like watching for like Sekiro and stuff. And he was playing with like a bronze to gold console friend group in 6v6. And they were all complaining about how she's so wildly OP and why did they buff her and it's just terrible. And the ult was literally team wipe almost every single time. Like at least 2 kills, if not 3 or 4 every single time. You know, and that's like a pretty decent percentage of the player population. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a pretty decent, I think they think she's definitely OP, you know?
In these lower ranks?
And she is. We've literally looked at the statistics. She's in the top 2 performing characters until I think Platinum or Gold in terms of DPS. Like she has like a 53% win rate, or did, with compared to along with Onron. I mean, that's really high for bronze. 50% is pretty high win rate for bronze.
Actually makes her OP, but I think that that's a misuse of the phrase, as really any character, when played well, could do the same thing. I mean, how many times have you not been one-shot by a Widow or Hanzo or a Sojourn when you're not using cover? A player taking advantage of your poor positioning is not a valid argument with regards to a given character's strength. It just doesn't make the character OP that the player punishes you for your mistake. But as much as people like to focus on Sierra's auto-aim, I actually want to talk about the rest of her kit, specifically her nade. It's no secret that Sierra is underbaked. What she lacks isn't damage or mobility, and it's not survivability. What Sierra really lacks is complexity and choice. I propose 3 key changes that would increase both her complexity and her ability to adapt to rapid changes in her environment. The first change is to her drone. Simply allow Sierra to grapple to her drone immediately after shooting it. Now, you might say that's already how it works, but there's a nuance here. In its current iteration, you can only grapple to her drone after it's been fully deployed.
Right.
While that seems fine on paper, in real games, it results in a serious pain point for a Sierra player, as
True.
it makes it hard to react to any dive that might come your way.
Right.
You have to either set the drone up before getting dove, so that you can use it to get out, or you have to hope that the Reaper, or whoever it is, misses his first 2 shots on you, since you won't have time to get away unless he does.
Techie, think of the holy crap, 50 months. What the big 5-0, dude. Are you going to buy me like a diamond ring or anything? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, it's a good point. Like, I think the concept of that having a defensive cooldown that you set up being bad and it's not fast enough is like, okay, fine. There is a setup time. That's part of the skill ceiling of the character. The problem is that there's no tech with it at all. So it's like you set it up ahead of time, and that's the only upside. Like if it was, let's put it this way, if Sierra's drone required like preparation and anticipation, but also had like more complexity and more different ways that you could use it, then it would be fine. The problem is it's neither snappy or quick, nor is it complex. It's simple and basic, and that's it. Drone isn't a reactive ability, and they should be able to do. That's my point. Is like, yeah, okay, sure, I can understand that. If you think that not everything needs to be reactive, I mean, sure, that's fine. But also at the same time, then there needs to be complexity to do. Kata, thank you for the sub. Yeah, exactly. Like Symmetra Teleport. Like Symmetra Teleport doesn't need to be frame second. And part of the skill ceiling is that it's prepared. But there's so many more things that you can do with Symmetra Teleport, which means that it's investment style cooldown management has a lot more complexity with ways that it can be used. So either it needs to be easier and more fluid to use, so it can be in a more important part of her kit in higher ranks, or it needs to be more complicated, more nuanced with how it's used. Cheers, Pachamari. Right. The whole concept of like, oh, well, thinking ahead is part of the skill, but there's nothing complicated about it. That's the problem. It's you're thinking ahead of like, oh, I'm going to make a peanut butter sandwich later. You know, it's like there's nothing that deep about it, you know?
Trying to disengage on Sierra kind of feels clunky.
So let me actually start taking notes here. Okay, Sierra. It's okay if drone isn't snappy, but then needs more reward for preparation, like SemTP. Like you can't have it both basic and slow.
Clunky as a result of this, and making her grapple snappier would help make her flow much better in game. Now, the next 2 points both touch on the nade, which in my opinion is the most undercooked part of her kit.
I agree.
It really needed more attention and development, as it's seriously lacking when compared to other nades in the game. The first change to the nade that I would make is a simple numbers change. Increasing the knockback on Sierra's nade would give her the option to use it as a disengage tool, something that she currently lacks.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The nade anyways.
More CC, yeah, but
her nade has knockback already, as you know, but it's extremely inconsistent and it's not strong enough backwards to make a real difference when disengaging. It just kind of knocks players left and right and up a little bit. It doesn't do much.
Yeah, agreed. I kind of like that. I need more CC knockback to make it stand out. It's just damage. Like the knockback might as well not even matter. Spam ability, yeah, exactly. It's like it's just damage down and choke. Like I don't even think it has more displacement than a normal grenade like Bastion or Emre, to my knowledge. Like it's just so boring. It's so boring.
Now I'll give you an example of this. Imagine you're playing high ground and Reaper teleports right up to the edge of the high ground. Other characters have strong disengage tools to deal with this, Ashe, for example, has Coach Gun. Emery and Bastion both have nades with good damage and decent knockback. Sojourn has her field that she can place on the edge to deal damage and slow. Soldier has Helix, and so on.
Holy
Just
mackerel.
joined. So sorry if I'm rehashing.
Thank you for the
stuff.
year,
To
dude.
me,
Appreciate
the
Newton.
big problem with Sierra is that she's just another tank melter, considering her tracking dart is much easier to hit on tanks than on squishies, while giving her...
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm reading through the rest of your message. I agree. I agree. I think the balance of like, oh, it's better versus tanks is that it doesn't have a headshot, and in theory, it's easier to hit headshots on tanks. So there's some nuance there, but yeah, I mean, she definitely does feel like every tank's worst nightmare, you know? For sure.
But Sierra doesn't have anything that can help her disengage. Simply increasing the backwards knockback strength a little bit could enable Sierra to use her nade to knock the teleporting Reaper, or whoever it is, back down from the high ground, helping her compete with other characters like that.
Nodlin.
Now, if you're
Thank you for
scared
the sub,
that
dude.
her disengage would be too strong with both this
Red
and
button.
the snappier grapple,
Right?
then I'd be fine with either or, but I prefer the nade change as this brings more nuance to her kit. Third and biggest change
Jeez.
also has to do with a nade, but before I tell you what it is, let's compare Sierra's nade to some other nades in the game. Both Emery and Bastion have a nade in their kit, so let's compare their nades to Sierra's. Here are some things that both Emery and Bastion's nade can do. They can be thrown at an enemy for AoE damage. They can be thrown next to an enemy that's hiding behind cover to deal omnidirectional AoE damage. They can be bounced on a wall to reach an enemy out of your line of sight. They can be used as a mobility cooldown, and they deal extra damage if they hit the target directly. Now with Emery, that's only if you have the perk, but still, they can do that for more damage, rewarding you for actually hitting a body shot. Now, how many of these things do you think that Sierra's nade can do?
One?
It's one. She can do
Yeah.
one of those things with her nade. Because of how Sierra's nade functions,
And it's not like, in the argument there isn't like, oh, well, that's because she has a lot more powerful gun or whatever else. The point being is that, like, if you have an ability that only does one thing, then there needs to be, that one thing it does needs to probably be mobility. Because that's that's one of the few skill sets that can be used in a dynamic fashion. Just AoE damage grenade is not dynamic in any way, shape, or form, and it's incredibly boring to play with and against.
the only real application of this ability is to deal damage to one or multiple enemies in your line of sight. The AoE damage travels forward in a cone, so you can't hit enemies
And the
behind
thing
you.
about it, too, is if I remember correctly, I don't even think that she can use her skill shot nade combo fluidly. Like, even within the kit, in terms, I'm not saying that she should, but at the very least, you think, like, okay, it just does damage, but you could kind of like weave. I don't think you can. I think it has a very hard animation that you can't cancel before or after with skill shot. I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that I've tried my whole concept of drone, launch in, grenade, skill shot, and I don't think it works. I don't think it works. I think you're stuck in the animation.
Cover. The nade doesn't bounce or even explode when it hits a wall, and
Okay, let's actually take a note of that. No animation cancels, nade skill shot, lock you in, so even base level of fluidity skill isn't there. Ovs, burst damage, yeah. We know.
deals no extra damage if you hit a direct hit. You can't even use it for mobility. Sarah's nade simply lacks depth. But how do we fix that? Well, I think that the best way to fix Sarah's nade is to change how it fundamentally interacts with walls. Instead of just doing nothing when it
okay.
hits the wall, let it bounce off the wall, but with very little momentum. Then when it hits the ground, the cone AoE should travel the direction that the nade bounced in. The purpose of this is not to increase AoE slop in the game, but to increase the amount of options that Sierra has when using her nade. Bringing complexity to the ability will incentivize decision making, increasing the skill ceiling of the character without touching the skill floor. It'll also help Sierra compete seriously with other DPS heroes in the roster at a higher elo, as most of these heroes already have a way of dealing damage around cover when they need to. If this was the way the nade had worked, I believe players would stop spamming it down main, opting instead to use it intelligently, similar to Ashe's Dynamite. But in its current state, there's really not much of a reason to stop shooting to use nade unless you hit more than 2 players with it. I think that that's really unfortunate given the potential this ability really has.
I'm just thinking of things as well. Gun awkwardly encourages uptime, which exacerbates brainless spam and noise. I thought about that the other
And
day.
to summarize, change how the nade interacts with walls in order to increase the character's depth, enabling decision making, making the character less brain dead, so to speak. Change the knockback to enable the nade to be used as a disengage tool, and make the drone snappier, more reactive when it comes to movement. Since every character needs to be balanced, you might need to change some numbers, like, you know, throw distance or speed of the nade to keep her power budget in check. But I think, all in all, these changes would help Sierra feel more thought out and fun to play. Thank you.
Frick, dude. You should do these videos more often. This is great. This is really well done. Obviously, not everyone may agree with every single point there, but yeah, this is awesome. Thank you. I like that a lot. Shout out Furry over here. Good stuff, dude. I enjoyed it. Thank you. That was nice. Nades interactions with walls. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, good cadence, and I would learn from you from scripting, you know what I'm saying? Of course. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All right, well, let's, off of that point, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So let's, this is not going to be, we are going to go for a script here. So we are going to have to take some notes. So let's kind of go down each kit aspect and try to take some ideas and try to kind of critique. In terms of like, let's start with the visuals here because that's what we did. And I'll probably save that for the end. Okay, let's start with visuals. I mean, I pull her up and I'm already chuckling. Yeah, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's say I think we'll say visuals as more of a minor critique at the end. Visuals, too many things going on at once. Doesn't have a cohesive vision, even that of being messy. Let's actually pull up a Hazard picture here. Hazard as a contrast to a messy character. Okay, so I want you guys to kind of compare the two for me here. Do you see the difference here? This is supposed to be relatively unhinged, and yet is way more color scheme cohesive. The pink spikes and the purple spikes are consistent with his energy and with his damage. You can see it in both his weapon, his spikes, and his abilities. Even highlights around his legs, his boots, and so on. And then the rest is more of a muted dark gray with a little bit of hint of color here and there, but for the most part, pretty consistent. And you'll notice something else here as well, is that the color scheme is consistent. It's not perfect, but it's consistent. Yellow, 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 basically all the same tone. Gray, 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 with some contrast, more or less some of the same tone with some contrast. All around the same shade of purple, and then around that bluish purple, like, I don't know, it's like a cobalt almost, right? You go to Sierra, we've got 1, 2, 3 shades of green, a gray, another gray, orange, orange, red, 1, 2, 3 shades of pink, a ponytail that I don't even think that matches any of the pink that we already have on her. Like this, does this not look different? This looks somewhere between those two. Brown boots, which we see nowhere else. And then the pink and yellow highlights, sure, but that, again, we see basically nowhere else. And then the pink hair, once again, doesn't even seem to match her hair on the bottom. Like, it literally, maybe the lighting's different, but it literally looks like a different shade again. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. So it's actually, I'm less critical of like her aesthetic, I guess. Like, I think the hat's fine. The drone is cool. The weapon's whatever. The coloring is just atrocious. This looks like it looks terrible. It just looks terrible. And I brought up a couple of other characters as well. These characters are not as... I kind of compared Hazard because I wanted to cut them some slack and be like, hey, this is a more messy design that people were also very critical of, I will say. But then you go to the more traditional designs and it gets even worse. Like, look at how much more fluid and simple and concise this is. I mean, look at this. It's not even close. Look at this. I mean, look at this. it feels like a different game. Simple is not the same as better. I mean, I'm not smart enough to critique that. I can just say it's bad. I don't like it. I don't like how it looks. I think it looks sloppy. So if you want to put it in different words than me, that's fine, but you might be right, but I just don't like it. So yes, these are basic designs. This is something messier. Okay, then I challenge you. Okay, what are the more messy color combos that are done well in Overwatch? It's kind of hard to say without base kits here. Diva? Okay. Diva Overwatch. Overwatch 2, I don't know. I mean, Queen. Let's try Junker Queen Overwatch. Yeah, I guess Junker Queen is the closest thing that we have. This has to be the closest things that we have. But the problem with that... Okay, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with that argument. First off, I think it's a lot more pared down, a lot more muted. There's obviously a red theme consistent and a blue theme that's consistent. But the other problem with that is the aesthetic is intentional and consistent with what you're supposed to be looking at. Like, this is supposed to be a junker, right? It makes sense that she looks like this. She's ragged, she's rough, her clothes are torn, right? And the highlights drawn to her hair, to the weapon, to the other arm are consistent. I don't know where my eyes are supposed to be taken to here, besides the drone. But then I'm still pulled to her head and to her hip. And I don't understand anything about her backstory personality to explain to me why she's dressed like this. Like, okay, you guys ready for a hot take? I might actually be okay with this, maybe even turn it up another 15 degrees, if there was something about her personality and lore that made this. Let me give you an example. My sister, I love her to death, is a tack queen. T-A-C-K. She just loves tacky, gimmicky stuff. And I love it about her. Her sense of style is just something all over the place. You know what I'm saying? She just buys all sorts of cruddy stuff all sorts of time. She loves that crap. And she gives generous gifts, and that's just who she is. And I could see her wearing a really goofy outfit like this. Heck, I could see me wearing a goofy outfit. I don't have the greatest sense of style either. But it's kind of in line with my personality. I don't understand why she dresses like this. It's like there's a certain amount of flamboyance, but it's not consistent with her character. So I don't know. Again, it's much more subjective, and I'm not going to go into it much more than that. But that's my subjective opinion, and that's how it goes. When getting the pink dyed ponytail, the mess is inconsistent with her personality. At least seems so. Compared to has JQ some of the few messy color designs we have. Audio. Everything is very loud about her, especially the amount of noise from, well, actually everything is loud. Grenade, skills shot warning, over the top, but I get it. So when you get shot by the skill shot, whoop, 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 like, okay, thank you for communicating that to me, but can we pare it down or shorten it? The constant beeping, dinging from your drone duration does not need to start that soon. Oh, I also forgot. Why do we need a destroy nade button or drone button? the weapon is super loud and designed to be high uptime, good or not. Ult also loud, but yeah, but duh. In other words, like, it's good that the ult is loud. It's an ultimate, right? The destroy button is to cancel your grapple? Really? That seems such a strange choice, to have an entire button to cancel your grapple. Maybe you're right, but that seems crazy niche. Yeah, you could just jump to cancel it. You don't even need the destroy button. Look. Wait, I did it wrong. Yes, no, you're correct, KJ. It's me. Me too. The destroy button is just to stop the noise. Oh, I love that. Do you guys have any other visual critiques? Melee isn't exciting, unique. Looks like a bugged Pharah melee from primary fire plus melee cancel. Do you guys have any other issues with the visuals? I think for the most part, maybe it's okay. Her silhouette being unrecognizable? You might be right. I'm always hesitant to do that because it's like, maybe that's just not something they can fix at this point. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, her visual design is really close. Whoops. Outline, very similar to Sojourn. Maybe not a fixable problem, but we do have a lot, you know, another young woman that does have a very similar outline to a lot of other people that we have of the same type. Okay, thank you, Azura's Fire. Yeah, I'll zoom in the notes in a second, Jack. I got it. Okay. 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 So if I don't even check in one of those. Yes, Antiquary. Yeah, we just wrote that down. Her melee is one of the... I think her melee might be the worst in the game. Which is such a strange thing, because we're so used to melees. Are there any other really bad melees? I mean, there's some uninspiring melees, but I don't think there's a single one that's super awkward. Character portrait looks weird. This one, I don't know. If you guys hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have pointed out this portrait. This one right here. This looks... It's unusual because she's different. Like, I'm not used to seeing a Sierra there in the same way that I wasn't used to seeing an Onron or whatever. But honestly, is it another portrait that you guys are referring to? Is it this one? This one is a little uncanny. That one is weird. This one looks like she's had, like, plastic surgery. She's like, hi there. Like, this is like, she's giving me Botox vibes here. Like, all of a sudden. I don't know if it's just the expression. It's kind of creepy. But the other one is fine. But I don't know if that's like that, if that's, you know, unique to Sierra or not. So Yeah, so a lot of the portraits look pretty bad. So it's I don't think it's like that big of a deal. But I also, yeah, I'm trying to be objective here. Like I really didn't notice it. If you guys hadn't mentioned it, like I wouldn't have noticed it. Why does the gun function like it does? Very much a nitpick, but doesn't seem to make sense to have such an inaccurate gun or function like such. I know I kind of brought that up last time, but if you think about it, you're like, wait, why does the gun do this? Like, not from a design perspective, like, oh, balance. I'm just like, wait, who would want a gun like this? Like, what's the purpose of that? It's a super nitpicky thing. But I don't, like, it's one of the few times in Overwatch you're like, why does that even exist? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Helix is an aesthetic for her company? Maybe so, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, okay, so easy, accessible hero. I gotta blow my nose, bro. I need to roll tissues. One second. More of a suppressive weapon rather than lethality. Yeah, I think that's a good take. I'll delete that point then. You made some good points. It's a rock climbing gun. Yes. Okay. Here's the thing with a noob, easy accessible hero. We want heroes with simpler kits, designs, but that have potential to scale with skill. What we don't want to understand is kits that are easy to perform on because they may not perform with higher ranks, which leads to insolvable balance problems like we have, or which victimize lower ranks. Or we have heroes that players will lose interest on / only play out of necessity, not desire. Reminds me of Negev and CS. What is Negev? Oh, the gun. Right. The concept is that I actually don't think Sierra has that simple of a design, really. I think that there's a lot of button presses here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a double input drone. There's a drone destroy button. There's a grenade, which is relatively simple. There's primary fire. And then there's also a skill shot that you have to land for you to utilize your primary fire. Like, I don't think it's a very complicated design, but it's not like a super simple design. If there's a lot of other heroes that have a much simpler design. To me, the goal with noob-friendly heroes are heroes that are easy to understand. Not necessarily, or easy to understand what the buttons do, not necessarily easy to understand how to interpret and how to use those buttons. You know? I don't think Sierra is overly complicated, and that's maybe fine, but I also don't like this idea that, like, oh, we want characters that are easy to perform on. Guys, this is a PvP game. Everything is relative. I feel like I have to have this conversation over and over and over again. Like, everything is relative. You could literally just remove every DPS from the game and have it to be only Tracer, and Overwatch would basically be the same game in terms of accessibility. You know? Because it's all relative. It's all relative. You know, a Bronze Tracer is not going, wow, this hero is hard, versus a Bronze Reaper necessarily, unless the character has a different skill floor. I think that's definitely true to an extent, but saying that, like, oh, Sierra has to be easy, otherwise what are you going to play?
Ha, 39, same
Thank you, Stefano. I actually didn't know that. Makes sense. So, and the problem with these arguments is that when you have characters that are really easy to perform on in lower ranks just by happenstance, is you feel this obligation to play this character in lower ranks, like you, and then in addition to that, you get victimized by this character. You get victimized by this character. Like, you people suffer because, oh, I'm not playing Sierra, and so now I will suffer to a person that, and like, this is what we're talking about. Like, all the low ranks are calling for nerfs to Sierra, basically rightfully so. You know, exactly. Where it's like, it's insolvable. This character has like a 40% win rate in GM or whatever, and a 53% win rate and freaking bronze.
3 years.
Thank you, dude. Congrats on the 3 years. So, yeah, it's really concerning. So, I'd much rather have characters like... Here's the other thing, too. Mercy's a good example of a character with... okay, let me paraphrase. I don't like a lot of things about Mercy. However, in theory, what hooks people to play Mercy more is her movement, which is like the skill expression of the character. So all like the hardcore Mercy mains, even in like plat and gold, are obsessed with the thing that scales well with skill. You get what I'm saying? You guys ever talk with Genji players? All the gold Genji players? Bro, they all want to like ghost dash and crap. They all want that crazy 180 flick stuff. So all the noob players are obsessed with the thing that's like really high skill, and they just can't always do it perfectly. Mercy players want to move. You know what I'm saying? All the Mercy mains that I've talked with like moving. No, they don't. They don't move that much, but they'd like to. They like it. I think of Mercy. So, dude, look at the meltdown that the Mercy community right now is having over Mercy movement getting nerfed, even though that doesn't affect like a large percentage of them, and they're still complaining about it because it's like, well, what if I want to, or what if I can, or whatever? Because those are all the highlights. Those are all the things that they want to do. You know? Right, Super Jump is super popular because it just feels fun to use the tech, you know? I think this whole concept that low-rank players don't want to do anything fun and just want to turn off their brain and shoot down main, that's often what happens, but they would like to try to do different things. And I think this whole mindset that we have to, like, enable that instead of encourage players to do the right thing, I think is so sloppy. Like obviously, that's not true. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. Because compare what we do today to Overwatch 1. It's a totally different game. It's not perfect. It's not completely fixed, but it is. The gameplay loop is. There's a lot more dynamism, even in like OpenQ66. Bart, thank you for the gifted substitute. I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the gifted subs. Thank you, dude. So I don't know. People get obsessed with Genji and Mercy and Lucio and Ana. Dude, Ana has a crazy pick rate. Dude, look at. Wait, I gotta pull up this. I think. What is? Okay, hang on. Okay. Ana currently has the third highest pick rate in gold out of all supports. Higher than Mercy, than Juno, than Lifeweaver. A lot of characters that are objectively stronger than she is. Because... oh, she's a high skill floor, but she's fun. She's fun, man. People like to feel cool, right? Exactly. You know, and from a very, very anecdotal experience, I coach a lot of people that just really like playing on it, really like playing Kiriko. No, I don't like Kiriko, but there are a lot of people out there that really like playing Kiriko too, even though she's actually got a pretty high skill ceiling, you know? So if you look at if we look at like gold, I'm looking at like pick rates here. Let's actually take a look here. Like pick rate, Sierra, you're going to see people that feel like they have to play the character, or do they just want to play the character, right? You know, that's the big thing. So, is what it is. We'll keep going. I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir, guys. I don't know, but I don't buy the whole mindset that, oh, we need to create a noob character that has insane value in lower ranks purposefully. I don't like that. If you want to say that we want to create a tight, svelte, simple design that's not complicated to understand, I would agree with that. And yet we have a character with 4 buttons. You know, it's just totally unnecessary. Anyway, I would love a character that has maintained simplicity in design. Maybe that'll be our challenge. Yeah, wasn't it Emre? I don't know, bro. I guess I don't know. Like that kind of. I mean, I don't have an answer to that. Right. Like, I mean, I don't think Emre is that complicated. He's just a gun and grenade guy. That's literally it. And the only complexity is how do you use your defense pistol. I think Emre is one of the easiest supports or DPS or damage dealers in terms of understanding what he does yet. And yet here we go. We have another one, you know? And the thing that concerns me the most is we keep having these characters that feel like, oh, they're going to have insane skill ceilings and then like shield slot or on run, you know, combo doesn't work properly. There's just feels like a lot of really not very high skill ceiling characters coming out. Anyway, okay. Keep going. Kit-wise. In addition, feel there's been a lot of misses on the high skill ceiling hero options on run. To where it's actually a change of pace to have a hero that isn't easy to pick up and perform. Okay. The fantasy, I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see some of the notes here. Of the drone feels like the highlight, but doesn't stand out in an interesting, engaging way consistently. Our critiques will be on specifically area of effect value, which leads to the noob stomper performance, as well as the luster engagement of the drone. You can't do anything while grappling? Yeah. Drone. Wait, you literally can't do anything while you're grappling? You can. You can. You can. Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound right. Okay. Drone. Ability to take angle and disengage juke a couple of times. But delay on application makes it inconsistent for disengaging, engaging. Distance is limiting. Complete lack of significant, notable tech for movement, nuance with how to use drone as a whole. No other use for drone other than strict repositioning. Making a drone strike is very flavorful. Solutions. Introduce accessible tech for those interested for more movement variety, cancels height, attaching drone for more omnidirectional movement, even on the floor for skips or bunny hops. Allow for drone destruction to actually do something, whether damage, knockback, or simply refund cooldown faster. Does literally nothing right now. Could even be sustain, charging your weapon. Affecting your abilities, etc. Drone swing, yeah. Drone swing, etc. Maybe first toss is... Drone doesn't have to be snappy on first launch, but lack of snap movement has dynamics with how you use it. Heck, even Juno Glide Boost has ledge catch that opens up positional options. Sim TP has numerous offensive and defensive disengage tools while also being infinitely more useful, consistently. That's good enough. Options. I think Juno Glide Boost is an interesting one where it's like you have a character that's very much about rotating consistently and smoothly, and then then the nuance there is that she also can ledge catch, right? So it's not snappy movement. I remember a lot of people were asking for that. I think maybe even I asked for it, but like the fact that you just consistently rotate, and then you don't need the snap as much because at least you can ledge catch. There just isn't anything there. Swing, Sizix to keyboard control while you use it. Wasn't this in the cinematic? Chat, was this not in the cinematic? Okay, now we're gonna freaking let's look it up. Let's look it up. Sierra Hero trailer. Hero cinematic. I love hanging this over. I love hanging this over their head. I'm like, cat, see? This is cool. Maybe I'm misremembering. Dude, chat, wouldn't it be so fun if she could have, like, directional control? Allow for horizontal swings, movement around cover. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Like, no, like you like shoot your drone and then you grapple to it and swing the momentum to go around the corner. Like, imagine if like a widow okay, so like, okay, here's what I want you guys to picture. Widow grapple. Imagine I place my drone here. I grapple to it and I can whip myself around so that I kind of like go like wah, you know, and I can control it. So like I go whoosh, bend the corner. Yeah, a little like ball grapple there. Yeah. Inks game, think of this up. I'm not saying that's a good idea or not, but it's at least an idea. You know? And then maybe there's more that they could do with the whole no-looking drone thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know? I don't know. I don't know. Grenade. Doesn't fit her kit. Feels like we ran out of ideas. More area of effect. AoE. Specific noob stomper. Why it targets noobs more. Group up. Easy punish. A lot of Sierra kit is in AoE. Pressure. The problem with Doomfist. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't knock back significantly. Doesn't stick. Doesn't have AoE cone. Sure, that's good, but doesn't have self mobility, etc. Could have knockback, could have wall targeting impact, like a weird sticky Farah conch. Or just simply drop the ability entirely for more focus on her movement and weapon. Simpler kit, right? Like, she just doesn't need the nade, man. Like, you just make it her gun character, run and gun, you know? I don't know. Skill shot. Major ramifications for people unable to use cover. But maybe not an easy problem to solve. What do you guys think about her skill shot? I need y'all's help with this one. I haven't thought about this one enough to have any crazy earth-shattering ideas. I'm trying as much as I can stay within the design space of keeping it as an auto-aim, but I'm really not sure what to do with it. Delay on right-click is so bad? So you mean like going from that into the skill shot? If you remove that, though, wouldn't that just be broken, though? Because it has that charge up. I don't know if I would take away the delay. I actually think that that's what makes it meaningful. You know, I don't think that you would take that away. We're talking about the company that refuses to nerf Sojourn Rail for the exact same reason, even though it's different, you know? Okay, let me try to... There's a weird delay that makes it not fun or satisfying, so I don't care what happens. It has to go. You guys really think so? I just don't know if that would be a way to balance it, though. I feel like that would be...
Tracker in place.
You can't make shit that isn't fun, even if it's balanced. Frick, Stefano. I need to stop reading messages so fast. Dang it. I mean, I guess. But there's like, I'm not saying that we can't have it. I'm just saying that there's other options. What if it just didn't last as long? What if it was faster, but it just didn't last as long? Like, you know, you hit your shot, and it just doesn't last as long.
Faster, stronger.
I mean, that's a pretty long time. No, I'm not saying you would buff the damage. I'm saying make it something that just isn't like a I'm in, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say increase the time to burst or time to kill, but it's like it gives you an advantage in a duel, but doesn't just if you hit it, the person that hits like dies. So I'm saying like here, and then it disappears right there, and then you have to continue to aim afterwards. Tracking shot is a whole hero fantasy at this point, yeah. I don't know. Maybe there isn't really an easy solution here. Could reduce delay if you reduced duration. Maybe would also help with tanks getting bullied. Not an easy. So it would just make it more like, sure, you can get off a big chunk of HP, but I don't know if that would fix all of the issues here. It's a bad hero fantasy. I don't know. Like, does tracking shot have to be your hero fantasy? Like, I'm trying to keep it, but like, do we really have to live and die off of a tracking shot? Like, it's just. I mean, I get that it's fun to get kills, but dude, Sojourn Rail is way more fun than this. And Sojourn Rail has its own problems. Yeah, I don't know.
You're killing it.
Overall feels concerning about how much of her kill potential is in tracking shot, front loaded. Feels bad if you miss. Massive decrease in value. Just can't win duels. When her fantasy feels like it should be drone. This ability more so than honestly even the grenade, where it's like, it just feels like, man, why did we? But it's hard because it's inherently tied into her primary fire. Like the fact that her primary fire has like that nasty spread feels like that's why it's allowed to have that nasty spread, because she has that skill shot. Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering. Is I'm like, do we just have like a reduced cooldown where frequent skill shot adjustments is her skill output? Like it's like an aiming style where you're like a little bit more projectile aim. Wait, bam, pop, bam, pop, you know, like something like that. Like, would that even be fun? What if the skill shot does something different, like marker target? Yeah. This is where it's like, it's really hard because I feel like under this immense, I don't know, this is super stupid to say, but you guys know what I mean. I feel like trying to redesign this character, I'm like, man, this is really hard. I'm like, bro, why do we put ourselves in this position? Like, why did this character not just get axed? Why do we have to make this happen? This feels like trying to fix Roadhog Hook. Like, not quite that bad, thank goodness, but like, it's just... The drone's fun. The drone's really fun and cool. Just frustrating, because like you can, it's like more so than honestly any of the other new characters. Like you can look at like on and Domina and Jetpack Hat. It's like I can see the vision there, you know. But like I feel like somebody must. This has to have been like, I don't know, man. I just don't know what the solution is outside of like basically pulling a Stefano, something that'll make Stefano mad, and just basically just chopping off her legs and making it so that like the skill shot is just such an inoffensive part that's not nearly as interesting. I mean, it's a literal auto aim ability, right? This isn't auto aim torpedoes, which everyone was kind of concerned about. That has like a very low damage, has a heal versus damage decision about like which one do you want to go for, is AoE, and also on a. This is like, it's just a skill shot that wins on 1v1. I just don't know if there's a solution here. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's my contribution to Sierra. We could talk about her ultimate, but that's also just feels like really undercooked as well. Ult is lat. Here we go again. Lacks tech, nuance, and is really bad. Isn't super fun to use. Extremely hostile to groups and tanks. Falls off hard in higher ranks. Tear it down, Sierra, but even worse. It really does feel like a Marvel Rivals ult. What would you do? What would you change about her ult, y'all? What if you could tag along with your ult? What if you could tag along with your ult? What if you could press Q and you flew freaking with it and you got like overhealth or something stupid? Like, there it is, and you go, woo! And you're just like, woo! It's kind of silly, but it'd be fun. Like, that'd be fun, you know? Yeah, just like yoink me high ground, you know? Woo! And I drop bombs still, but maybe they're like slightly weaker. But then I can gain like overhealth, and I'm like on high ground now, like as a repositioning tool.
ID love a little double jump after the drone-like vantage from Apex Legends or something.
Yeah. Could you make it into like a cluster missile thing you could kind of control like Bastional? Actually, yeah, that's a really good idea. I mean, dude, why are we doing that, man? You could ride the drone, like a zip line, gain overhealth, reposition, or more brief manual control, like a Riptire Bastion, That would be too. But with arrow keys, I don't know that there has to be something there that's drone fantasy, right? Like I think obviously it doesn't make sense for her character to be AFK. Like that seems a little too clunky to sit there and be like, you know, on her like, you know, her RCXD or what are those things called? But like, surely there, yeah, like a weave orb, but you guide the drone, and you can like, bam, you aim it with your crosshair, like. Weeing, aiming with your crosshair. Because here's the thing, it's freaking fun when I'm the guy that did it. You guys know what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, Riptire is a fun ult to use. You know, I think it's kind of can be problematic in lowering, sure, but I mean, it's not like this is any better. But it's fun because it's like I did that. Even Bastional, I did that. That was me. I outsmarted them. I got him. I aimed it. But dude, yeah, seriously, just bam, you know, that would be so much more satisfying and probably a lot more balanced. And you could shoot the drone maybe. Maybe it's just like, I mean, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like a repeat of Riptire. But like, freak off, dude. This is way worse. So it's more boring and it's not unique. Wait, you can shoot the ult drone? That's crazy if you can. That's funny. But that would be fun, man. Then you could be like, okay, so here's what you would do. You know how like they have like that tech where you can aim the drone at the floor and you clump the bombs up more? Check it out. So like here. Right? And you aim it higher and there's like a little bit more spread. Okay. What if you can crash the control the drone and crash it sooner and it detonates the bombs in that small location. So if you want more like AoE spread, you can still get it, but you can just pull and compress it more or something like that. But obviously all the stuff does less damage. What if she zips to the drone, drops mine, and she does? Yeah, something along those, like a combination of the two, right? You just aim at the ground? It's not the same though. It's not near enough of a compression. I mean, look. You see what I'm saying? That's not what I want. I want bam, and then one detonation point, you know? The difference is not that big, you know? It's just a little bit more spread on the 3 lanes. That's kind of what I'm saying, Waloop. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Where you can crash the drone for more, but it drops fewer bombs, but crashing the drone cashes out the damage. I don't know that I would go full like Riptire pilot because I don't think it makes sense with a hero fantasy, but you could control like the Wu Yang Orb concept to me. Like imagine that you're like, oh, they're behind a corner and then bend the thing and it goes and then just like, you know, it's the same thing with the drone swerve. You know, we were talking about like the swerve, give them the swerve, the corner punt, you know? Yeah, I know what you mean, Waloop. I know what you mean. Like, we crash the drone into the ground and then it detonates more the sooner you pull it because it's carrying explosives or whatever. I don't know. What if it curves towards a person you have the tracking shot on? That would be a fun idea too.
Looking good.
Yeah, we'll stop there. Are there any other passives that she has? Recon passive that's just the basic passive they give to like any mobile hero. Her gun, I don't know. I guess we're talking about her gun here. Gun encourages uptime, which exacerbates brainless spam and noise. Maybe the spread concept is fine with a more reined in spread to make it reasonable to compete if you don't hit skill shot. Similar to Freya adjustments. I mean, even Sojourn, right? Like, so there's still Not a lot of fluidity with her animations as well. Watch out for burst damage. Get your resume back in Blizzard? No. I wasn't willing to relocate. Although if you guys are interested, if I have time, would you guys be interested in my old Hero Fantasy my application for the hero design team when I almost made it? So basically, if those of you guys don't know, I was asked to apply about a year ago, and I almost made it. But I wasn't able to relocate, and Costa was. And I also think Costa is very qualified too. I don't want that to be like, oh, Spilo would have had the job. Costa is extremely qualified for the job. But, obviously like not, they were actually pretty flexible at the relocating thing. They were like, actually, maybe we can make it work. But when you have somebody as talented as Costa, it's a no brainer. But yeah, we could talk about my, I'll give you guys my hero idea. I'll give you guys the full lore. I'll give you guys what her kit was. And I think there's a couple of other, questions that I can go over too. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in over a year, so maybe it's aged really poorly. Maybe it's like, well, this is a horrible idea. You know what? Frick it. Now that we've finished our scripts, do we just do this some other time? I don't have a lot of time right now. I have to leave in about an hour. Maybe I should we should just jump in. We've been sitting here being grumpy. Let's do something that'll make me more cheerful. Would you guys like to look at that? Should we just say screw it? We'll record it on Thursday. Frick it. We'll record on Thursday. I'll show you what I got. I don't have any visuals, sadly. I don't have any visuals for it, but I'll share with you. Let me see if I can dig it up. I don't remember where it is. I think I found it. Okay. All right, I got it. Maybe one of y'all brilliant artists, maybe I'll commission one of you guys for $5 to do a Microsoft Paint 2-minute drawing of it. Draw it in Paint. Dude, I'm not drawing it in Paint. Are you kidding me? I freaking draw jack all. All right, don't make fun. This was something that I would say took me about 4 or 5 hours. Well, no, about 3 to 4 hours. They were during the let me just kind of start from the beginning here. Okay, so about a year and a half ago, I believe, there was an associate hero design position opened up. There was like a lot of memes about it. Oh, adding Samito, adding whatever else. A couple of people adding me, and I was like, I'm not gonna apply. I'm not really in a position. I really like my job right now. A couple people from Blizzard actually reached out and asked me to apply, which was unbelievably flattering at the time. It still is flattering. It was insane. I was not expecting that whatsoever. And I basically was like, hey, I appreciate it, but I'm not really interested in relocating. I know that's like an important part of like Blizzard culture, and it makes sense, right? I mean, I've done the whole remote thing with Overwatch League, and it wasn't the best, but they're like, you should just apply anyway. Just do it. It's like, okay, whatever. So I kind of said no again, and then I was asked again. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Alec. Alec might have reached out and asked me to apply. So I did. I was like, okay, fine. I mean, freaking Alec Dawson asks you to apply, then you're going to freaking apply. So I applied. A couple of interviews. Interviews were great. I won't go too in details about the interviews, but one question was really fun, which was design your own theme park ride. Just there in the moment. And I was like, this is right up my alley, baby. Let's go. So it was really fun. And then the next part of the interview was more of like the project thing, which was like, design your own hero. How would you deal with this balance or design situation? What would you think about this? And I went at it. I just was like, hey, go with it. And it wasn't perfect. I got some really nice feedback from Alec on it. They were very thoughtful about it. And then there was some tension about like the relocation thing, because I was like, I can't relocate. I've got this whole thing. But they were actually very flexible about it, and they were actually willing to consider just like bending the rules, and like, because they don't let people work remotely very, very rarely unless they're in senior positions. So it was beyond flattering. And then obviously Custa, who's equally, if not more qualified than I am, who was also able to relocate. And he'd also been doing a lot of work on hero design stuff, some really serious stuff. And obviously, so I was glad for him, and he's done a good job. But the application process was fun because for me, it was like there was no like pressure at all because I wasn't really sure if I even really wanted the job. It was just like, I'm going to do the best I can. Let's just see what happens and we'll go from there. And that was powerful from a negotiation standpoint because that meant I could play like, hey, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But also it made that the application process was just really fun because there was no pressure of like, if this doesn't work out, it's like an amazing thinking exercise. I just had a great time. So I was, no pressure, and I just got to kind of like let the creative juices flow just for giggles. And this is kind of what we came up with. So I'll let you guys read this. I will read this out loud if I can zoom in here. Hello? Why is my zoom button not working here? Maybe it's the keybind here? Okay. Okay. I haven't read this in a long time. This is going to be pretty cringe. But for me, if you guys don't know, I really like hero design, but I also really like stories, and I like having like this intense kind of lore stuff. So I wanted to challenge myself in like half an hour. Could I write up an interesting backstory? So if it's not great, I'm sorry. It literally was a half an hour, but I wanted to see the best I can. David, how are you? I assume this is Dave. This has to be Dave. Hey, Dave, in YouTube. Has to be Dave. Freaking call me a happy little guy. Frick off, dude. I miss you, man. I miss the crud out of you, dude. You need to come down here and play football with me, man. Love you, dude. Hope your family's doing well. Okay. All right, this is so embarrassing. Introducing Wakinian, codename Bolt. Wakinian is a member of the, Lakota people and Native American tribes centered mostly in the north and northwest regions of the United States. Wakinian, will call her Bolt for the rest of this assessment, was the young daughter of a brilliant scientist named Napashni. I forgot how I pronounced it, meaning courageous. She was completely devoted both to her father and her father's work. Napashni was close friends with Dr. Harold Winston, who collaborated with him, not the best grammar, on self-sustainable sources of energy for the reservation and attempts for greater independence from the often corrupt local government. Okay, you already know this is a Smilo thing. Drama. I wanted something, so we gotta give you my standpoint here. I was like, hey, we have a lot of really happy people in Overwatch, but I would love to have somebody that is invested in Overwatch with maybe that doesn't fully trust Overwatch. Maybe because we always look at like the evil comic characters that hate Overwatch and the people that are in Overwatch, but we always hear about all this controversy. No. We always hear about this controversy from the outside of people didn't trust Overwatch. Oh, didn't trust Overwatch. But nobody ever like explores that, like that doesn't feel like there was any character that fully explores that or has that outsider perspective that we're kind of told about, but never actually shown, So this was before, I guess, Freya. This was a long time. This was before even Hazard. But I was like, what if we have an outsider perspective of somebody that doesn't have the best opinion of Overwatch, or maybe isn't trustful of Overwatch, but is generally a cool person. One night while Napashni and Bolt were working together on some recent advancements to some of the Tesla-esque technology shared by Dr. Winston, two thugs attempted to rob the workshop for the expensive resources used in the experiments. Napashni was shot and killed, and the scuffle caused a dangerous electrical fire, severely injuring Bolt and causing partial blindness. You can probably already see where this is going. We need more sad people in Overwatch. Well, yes and no. I didn't want like an EDRE, like comically, like she just massacred her full people sad, but something that was like, there was something with a little bit more maturity. Okay. The thugs were never caught thanks to the corrupt legal roadblocks organized by the local corruption. Corrupt legal roadblocks organized by, okay, again, the writing was just phenomenal here. It was rumored that the thugs were related to the members of the city council, and Bolt was left fatherless with damaged eyesight and a broken heart that bred bitterness. Again, the writing is something. That bred bitterness. Thank you, Smile, for the on-the-nose description here. As Bolt became an adult, she committed herself to what remained of her father's work and was able to finish his work in search for local sustainable energy, much to the enrichment of her community. But that was not enough for Bolt. In a quest for righteous vengeance, he also utilized his expertise in technology to develop offensive weaponry and cybernetic innovations to combat crime and corruption in her community. 20 years passed since her father's death, and still her anger burns against the men that wronged her family and those that protected them. She never discovered who they are or who they were. This leads us to present day, where her ruthless enforcement of what is good, as well as her impressive technological work, has quietly attracted the attention of Overwatch and, coincidentally, Winston. Unfortunately, Bolt is rather skeptical and jaded versus organizations that claim for justice. Aren't they all corrupt? Will Winston be successful in recruiting her to the Overwatch team, or will her cynical passion direct her elsewhere? You can kind of see it's like she doesn't trust Overwatch because the organized legal thing scammed her, screwed her over. They were corrupt. They're not actually all for justice. And so there's that nuance of like, hey, Overwatch, there are people that abuse power for bad, and there's people that abuse power for good. Ultimately, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a bias there, right? So definitely, I would probably be a blue lightning guy for this situation here. So there's a nuanced perspective here on this. Okay. And with the generational trauma from being native, right? And there's also, I'm sure, a lot of corruption within those communities as well, which you know, has obviously victimized them for centuries. So like that, I felt like was an interesting twist on that representation. I'm not a wizard on that. That was my best guess, and hope that's not offensive. But that would be like, hey, I can imagine those guys have all sorts of horror stories to say about the local government, you know? Okay, visuals. This is probably my weak point, to be frank. Bold is tough and ruthless, and her gear shows this. A Batman-esque backstory leads to Batman-esque visuals. Black, gold, and blue are her primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. I would probably prefer black and blue in hindsight, with the theme of her hero being a reflection of both the thunder, the lightning, and the sky that her name represents. She wields a pump-action rifle with a Tesla coil attachment, technologically enhanced boots, black and gold combat gear, and a visually enhanced eye gear. Think Captain Typho from Star Wars. This hero gets canceled, right? Okay. So again, visual impaired, visually enhanced, and stay tuned with this. Bolt is a mobile... Shockingly, I mean, you guys never would have understood that. Volt is a mobile short to medium range combo hit scan hero. Each aspect of her kit is designed to complement and synergize with itself. The general playstyle will be utilizing her mobility to take short angles, and her kit to apply sustained pressure or to aggressively duel. Resource. This is the big one. Bolt relies off of static charge to enhance her abilities, including her melee, Tesla rifle, and her static boost. She starts with 3 charges, which regenerate slowly over time, but using her ultimate refills this meter completely, and using her wall run refills this meter by 1 charge. So in other words, utilizing your mobility increases the charge, which enhances your abilities. Bolt has 200 HP. This was prior to Season 9, and 50 shields. Oh, was it after? 50 shields. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I think it was after Season 9. Weapon. A pump-action short to medium-range rifle with a Tesla coil attachment. The rifle is her primary fire and has a 2-shot clip before it requires a reload. That's it. Bam, bam.
Shake hands with danger. Need a guy who ought to know.
Thank you.
I used to laugh.
This is made by Spylo. I shut the frick
Now
up.
they call me.
It does 60 damage.
Go.
It can headshot and has fall off outside of 15 meters. The Tesla Pulse is her alternate fire and can be fired independently of the status of her primary fire ammunition. It consumes 1 of her 3 static charges, does 50 damage initially and 20 over time. In addition, enemies within 5 meters of the target, if the weapon hits, take both the initial damage and the damage over time. That might be too much AoE. I'd probably change it to just damage over time right now. This Pulse has a 20-meter range with no fall off. No, Bucky did not exist when making this. Although that was definitely somebody that was... Okay, no, actually that's not true because Rivals was in beta or alpha. But I've always been obsessed with a character that uses her weapon as a more limited resource. It's not infinite. Like to where the timing of the weapon is more important than just shooting the weapon constantly. Can I move webcam? Yeah, give me a sec. Sorry. Yeah, okay, there you go. Passive. Bolt can jump and hold spacebar near a wall to run, similar to Lucio Wallright, to move quickly across the map. She is unable to gain or lose height during the run, however. So you can get onto the wall and jump off the wall to get a little bit more height, but you're not able to increase or lower height while you're on the wall. Wall run increases her movement speed by 30%, grants her 1 additional static charge to her resource meter, and the initiation of the wall run can cancel the ending animation of her primary fire reload. I don't know, it's just library. It's just something that was replacing Microsoft Word for me. Bolt can wall run for 1.5 seconds and can end the run duration early by jumping off or using static boost. Her wall run has an 8-second cooldown. Shift primary ability. Static boost is Bolt's primary ability bound to shift on PC that propels her omnidirectionally, controlled by WSD or controller directional input. This ability has a 10-meter range that consumes 1 static charge. So think of it like a super Hanzo dash that you could use off of a wall. If Bolt has no static charge, the distance is halved to 5 meters. This ability has a 6-second cooldown. When consumed a charge, this ability should have a visible static spark and accompanied by an audible pop. So again, this is more about like a dueling dash that consumes your resource that you can use to enhance your ability. So there's a risk reward out of every ability that you use, even your wall run, about charging and spending your resource, about when do you want to enhance your movement, or do you want to enhance your weapon, or do you want to enhance your melee? Okay, do I have enough resource to enhance everything? Okay, wait, I've just, right? So that, and also because it's not easy to charge up your static, because part of it's passive, part of it's active off of your wall run, your gameplay loop is not constant pressure. Okay, melee. Using the butt of her rifle does an additional 30 damage over time if it hits a target, but consumes 1 charge. Does a standard 40 damage when no charge. So again, there's your enhance. Ultimate. Thunder speaks. Thunder and lightning become 1, and primary fire now fires the alternate fire Tesla pulse simultaneously. The Tesla pulse damage has been reduced to 30 damage, but maintains the 20 damage over time and area of effect. AoE effect, sorry. I guess that this is redundant. Thunder Speaks resets both her wall run and her static boost, as well as recharging her static charges to full. Additionally, if necessary, her ultimate grants an additional 50 regenerating overhealth. The ult is transformational and lasts 8 seconds. I think that's it. But yeah, the concept here was a character that can move around the map relatively comfortably and basically plays around static resource to take duels intelligently. And one that utilizes a lot of movement and combos. Now, it's the first iteration. This is literally only a couple of hours of work. And so there's probably a lot of combo potential here that's like lacking, but there's a lot of intent here to have animation cancels, to have movement, to have a character with a gun that feels combo focused and has range limitations. So, yeah. Did they give you feedback on this? Yes, I don't remember. I'd have to go back. I think they did with this particular thing. I think there was more feedback on some of the other things, but yeah. I remember that they liked the static passive charge, having it being a resource, but beyond that, I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. The biggest thing that I could tell is that like, of course, I'm interested in it, but like I would want to try playing this character. I would want to play this character. And that was try to design a character that I would really enjoy playing, like I would want to play, or that would have something unique. I think in general, if I remember correctly, the feedback was like, oh, it's a little bit not the most creative. It's like it's another gun character. But honestly, with the power of hindsight, that seems like kind of silly feedback, given what we have here. Yeah, it's a bit ironic. Let me see if there was any other feedback here that I can share. I don't know if I can find, I don't remember. I feel like there was feedback. My thought process is I don't care if the character has a gun or not. Does it feel different? That's what matters to me the most. And I thought that on paper, quite literally it would, but it's not as if that was like the deciding moment, you know. It was just more feedback, more for like, hey, this is cool. So I thought it was useful. I don't know where, if I have the feedback. Yeah, I don't know, because I worked through a recruiter who I think Alec gave feedback to him because that was his job. And I think the feedback was sent through the recruiter, but I don't know where. I may not be able to find it, which is kind of tragic. But I do remember there was kind of like, maybe something a little bit more spicy than another gun character. Because I imagine like a lot of the other trialists were probably like cooking some crazy crap. But for me, it was more along the lines of like, hey, let's do something that feels like attainable and has a unique spin. But I think that's mostly it. Let me see if there's anything else I can do here. So I think there was discussion about passives, adding passives into the game. What are your thoughts on passives? Yeah. Okay. So here's a fun one. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something here. So there was a question about pros and cons of adding a movement speed buff here. Again, all really, I think the test itself was excellent. There was like good balance versus design discussions. They want to remove the support passive and replace it with a new one, pitch a new role passive for the support role. And then this is the one. If you guys are interested in this, we can do this one. In the Battle for Olympus mode, heroes of Greek mythology-based skins and gain special versions of their abilities after they activate their ultimate. Imagine that we bring the mode back with new hero options, Orisa, Reaper, and Brigitte. Pick a god mythological hero for the figure and discuss why you choose the pairing. Additionally, how would you modify the hero's ability? So basically like, hey, we're bringing back Olympus. How would you do it with a Reaper, Orisa, Brigitte? Would you guys like to see my feedback for that? Because that one was actually even honestly just as hard as the freaking new hero one. Because that one was actually kind of tricky. Are they able to use ideas from interviews? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, we'll go for it. How much time are you given to come up with the answer to the question? It's like a week, and they gave me an estimation of like how long it should take. Obviously, I took longer because I'm trying to do a good job, but I think everybody kind of took longer. So, okay, let's see it. The battle for Olympus is back, and it brings a dramatic twist. The two half-siblings, Ares and Athena, are vying for glory in combat, and the goddess, Dionysus, has also arrived, just to keep things fun. Athena will be represented by the shield maiden Brigitte. The goddess of honorable combat fits both her personality and her kit. Ares will be represented by the vengeful wraith Reaper. The god of bloodlust and carnage fits both his personality and his kit. Dionysus, the god of wine and festivity, will be represented by the big, silly Omnic Orisa, because she has a line that says, "Who is ready to party?" and because it's silly. I'm quirky, guys. What can I say? Even in my interviews. What a funny feller he is. I will include the sentences for each character's bio as well as an explanation of potential changes to their kit. The assessment only requested changes for the abilities during the ultimates, so each character will lead with the ultimate change, along with other aspects of the kit that could be worked for the event even past the ult's expiration. Athena Brigitte versus Ares Reaper. There's a great room for banter between Brigitte and Reaper, as the rivalry between Athena and Ares is legendary, essentially an analogy of the cultural tension between the Greeks and the Romans. The Greeks honored Athena for wisdom and her stance as a goddess of defensive war, but the Romans found great glory and honor in aggressive war, and so Ares was greatly worshipped. Obviously a bit of a caricature, but you guys bear it. This is reflected in their contrast of portrayal in Greek and Roman culture, Ares and Minerva being the less flattering portrayals of Mars and Athena, respectively. I think there's a lot of fun potential for voice line banter between the two, especially given the already significant contrast in Brigitte and Reaper's personalities, roles, and stance on Overwatch. Brigitte as Athena, or Athena, whatever. Athena carries a golden spear similar to the sword given to Hercules, and a polished bronze shield later given to Perseus. The spear will extend like her flail during her whip shot animation. Her shield closely resembles the combat gear used by the ancient armies of the Greek Romans, as is her armor. Repurposing Rally for more flexibility with her kit, Rally now resets all of her cooldowns instead of just her shield bash. The initial cast of her ultimate is initiated with a shout of... Keep in mind, this is an arcade mode, okay? It's now initiated with a shout of war, knocking down enemies within 5 meters for 1.5 seconds. That might be a little long. Her shield bash no longer stuns, but is increased to 75 damage in her ultimate, and movement speed in Rally is increased to 20%. Abilities. Armor Pack has been replaced with Swoop, where Athena utilizes the power of the owl, her animal representative, to glide swiftly forward 50 meters, knocking enemies in her path out of the way, dealing a small amount of damage. This ability is omnidirectional. There's a lot of potential for winged visuals. In other words, you can go up, down, whatever. There's a lot of potential for winged visuals here for this animation, similar to the Crucible Knights in Elden Ring. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So this is kind of what we're thinking here. Imagine if Brigitte does this. You know what I'm saying? Like, would that not be bad? Okay. Kitchen's kind of smoking. Whip shot is now a visual stab. It's now visually a stab of the spear, the same damage effect, or swinging simply the spear. However, it can now be used while shielding to match the visuals of a hoplite. Reaper as Ares. A dark, smoldering, and smoky aesthetic that is similar to Reaper's, familiar to Reaper. Ares' arrival was once described as bursting into flame by simply unsheathing a sword. Ares is dark, warlike, and armored in a fashion similar to soldiers of his day. An armored visual take on Reaper utilizing the red of fire, the black of smoke, and the gold of armor may be a unique twist and a dark tone we're already familiar with in his character. Spicing up the Death Blossom we all know and love, Reaper now has more directional speed during his ultimate and can utilize his Wraith mid-ultimate, pausing the duration of his ultimate. This is pairs with automatically tearing up his rage meter, more on that below, to level 3, adding a small burn effect, 20 damage DOT, onto any form of damage. Ares is a vengeful master of combat, and his bloodlust increases his efficacy. Securing eliminations tears up his rage meter, with each tier increasing his base movement speed and attack speed by 10%. Wait a second! This is Vendetta! Using his okay, hang on a second here. Using his ultimately automatically maxes his meter. Each tier expires after 8 seconds. Wraith is now omnidirectional, faster and shorter in duration. He is losing teleport mobility, and I believe it adds some fun dynamics to the ability. His teleport ability maintains the same placement aspect, but instead places a burning mimic of himself that detonates after 1 second, doing 100 damage, applying the 20 damage GOT mentioned previously. The animation is slightly faster than his current teleport animation. Is that responsible for Vendetta? I'm sorry, guys. My bad. All right. Orissa's Dionysus. Dionysus is jovial and fun-loving god, and the skin should reflect this. Orissa crowned with clusters of grapes and covered in vines of grape and ivy, similar to her woodland spirit skin, but more wild. Splashes of violet, wild eyes, and a javelin twisted in ivy. Dionysus is ready to party. Dionysus was an agile and exciting god, and his drunken revelry could be terrifying. Orissa will engage her ultimate by taking a deep draft of wine. Orissa moves at 25 increased speed, galloping if the visuals will allow it, and the overheat mechanic are going to suspend it entirely for the duration of the ultimate. In my rework, I have replaced Fortify with a leap ability, and during her ultimate, this ability's cooldown is reset and halved. Her javelin ability also is changed, see below. As mentioned above, Fortify has been replaced with a lunge of around 15 meters with a small landing damage effect, similar to Winston, but much shorter in distance. This is omnidirectional and on a 10-second cooldown. Javelin spins functions as is. There's potential for vertical mobility here as well, but it may be too much when combined with her leap. Orissa's Javelin now roots people in place for 1 second if they hit a wall. They are added visuals of vines growing out and grasping the target to hold them in place. Okay, yeah, that's mostly it. So it wasn't amazing, but it was actually kind of challenging. I wasn't sure how much we should cook with the thematic side of things, because it wasn't just like, oh, what would be fun with Orissa? I'm like, what's thematic? And then who should it be? And well, we already had the heroes already handed to us, so, but I thought it would be fun. Orissa drinks a bunch of wine and becomes drunkenly abusive, swearing at random teammates and throwing up occasionally. If the meter gets too high, she can be arrested. Orissa being arrested pauses the match as everyone must wait for the court date. That's funny. But anyway, it was fun. Donis feels a little incongruent with Orissa, but the other two were great. Yeah, there were limited options. I decided to go with it with the who was ready to party and just rolled it. And I wanted to have one out of the three heroes be like a total like curveball, just for the sake of fun. Because it's like, Brig, Reaper, yeah, wow, shocker, Ares, whatever. But then just have like a total curveball, because Overwatch likes doing that. Just something completely bonkers. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And there were also fewer god options given the fact that we'd already had so many done. But yeah, anyway. Well, that was that. Hope you enjoyed. It comes up on the courtroom app. So it's less about perfect accuracy. Who gets the Amnesia Beast skin? Mercy. That would be horrifying, just seeing this clawed monster with this beam flying around the sky. Yeah, Arisa the Demeter was like the obvious one, but I wanted to do something different. The motherly figure, you know, the gardener. Yeah. But Dionysus is funny. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. So. Thank you. All right. Well, we got it done. So we'll record it on maybe Thursday, and then I'd like to on Thursday do some hero study. Check out this Jetpack Cat meta maybe, but more importantly, just watch. Try to find some high level Domina play. So if you guys have any high level Domina, Onron, Jetpack Cat, Mizuki, Emre, fill in the blank. Maybe Emre I'm less interested in. Let me know on Thursday or Saturday, because I'd like to do a little bit more studying, like a recap of like how higher level players are understanding these characters and seeing if there's anything that we can learn. Finish up the visual notes thing, by the way. Drop it in content suggestions. Let's do a couple quick play games, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you, Candid Learner. High level Emre, yeah. High level Emre is it's not the most interesting thing to me. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you for dropping that in there. Quick play. How about just a QP? Why is it not updating stream? Hello? Does it think I'm typing a profanity? What the frick? Okay, it's not updating stream title, so I apologize for it being inaccurate. It won't work. Bizarre. What do you guys want to see? RAM? Connects Corkscrew frame rate? Yeah, sure, go for it. What's up, Ryoka? How are you, mate? Long time no chat. Doom? Okay, we can play some Doom. Quick play. It was weird. It wouldn't let me update the YouTube title. That's what's bugging out for whatever reason. So I'm sorry, YouTube, if the stream title is inaccurate. Been through a lot, most good? Okay. Well, I'm glad it was mostly good. Let's do the leaned back, relaxed Doomfist gameplay. I'm not even sitting up. I'm not even posturing. Always forgets to stream. Well, okay, the on-screen title is probably the least. Oh, frick me. Freaking Farah. Oh, my days. What? Frick. Okay, we got cap at least. Low cortisol Doomfist gameplay? Yeah. Very low cortisol, as you guys saw. Does Doom gameplay count as a Sierra critique? Yeah, of course. Frick. Why did I get the heal there? That's weird. I'm trolling. I did not get the cover fast enough. My bad. My mistake. Body block. Like, how does that not feed punch? Oh dear, I have trolled my brains out. I'm not good enough this hero to be low cortisol playing it. Like, it's just not within my repertoire. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait the... Got it. No.
Meteor strike.
No. Frack. No. Shoot.
Best round lost.
Is low cortisol Junker Queen possible? I don't know. Maybe?
Score 0-1.
That would be funny, Poop Spoon. An actual cortisol tier list. Honestly, dude, I need to do that. I need to do that. Somebody freaking put in content suggestions. Cortisol tier list. That would be so funny. Okay, now we gotta do that.
Strike without mercy, and victory will be ours.
We should do that. Maybe we'll do that this week. Cortisol tier list.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round. Capture.
I've learned you can't do your punch too early or you just go flying into the stratosphere there. Malga. No. No. No, no, no. Frick. Shouldn't have chased that. No. Nah, freaking.
Meteor strike is done.
Oh my gosh, every shot in the world missed.
Meteor strike.
Oh, come on, man! There's no way!
That's better.
Freaking kidding me. Bastion, what are we doing? Does the Doom player this offends me greatly? I'm sorry, mate. Sorry. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, never mind, I do. Well, been good. Freaking trap. Actually, pretty massive ult if we can keep her up. Genji dies, maybe? No? Nobody dies? Nothing, everybody dies? Ah, poopy, 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 poopy. Who's dead here? Oh, not him. That's not my choice. Ah! Okay, well, we have a lever now as well. Sierra critique happening right the second. No, YouTube refuses to let me change my stream title, so I'm unable to do that. We did it earlier. Low-key kind of winnable, actually, though. No? Okay, not winnable at all. Classic quick play game. Okay. Legit cortisol tier list. Cortisol tier list. Stefano, do you wanna join me for the cortisol tier list on Thursday? It's the YouTube title. It's not a. Dude, I'm freaking serious, man. That's comedy gold. Okay, sure. All right. I'm gonna try to change the YouTube title through an indirect fashion. The 5-minute fix hero challenge, playing Sombra Echo for giggles. Why is this my YouTube stream title? How old is that stream title? What the frick is going on? I'm sorry, YouTube. I don't have no idea what the frick is going on here. This thing is goofy. Quick play. I don't know. What is going on? No, that's like, yeah, that's like months old. What on earth? And the bar in the middle of the bottom of the screen is also inaccurate. Yeah, that's true. All right, what's next? We served our time with Doomfist. The heck is going on? Sorry, guys. Malga? You guys want to see 2 votes for Malga? Okay, we'll go Malga. Malga's weird. Malga could be... You know, this is going to be the fun part of the tier list. It's going to be either... There's going to be high cortisol, low cortisol, and then there's going to be, like... Can be high or low. I think Malga is the perfect example of, like, you're either just like... Or you're like... like that. Just like that.
Stick with me and you'll climb straight to the top.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Stay away of your knees.
Ba 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 ba. Ba ba bum ba 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 bum. Whoa. Hello. Wait, this guy's playing Malga. Let's go. Malgamir? That's pretty high cortisol. Wait, no, Fricker! Hitbox alert! Hitbox alert! Ah! I'm getting out of here, bro! How do I get hooked out of my thing, bro? I hate this hero. Alright, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Nice Guy, jackass. I didn't know he was on Hog. Frick up. Oh, I had my mega. Dude. Okay.
That's better.
Dude! Lift me. Lift me!
Enemy here.
Don't get picked off, buddy Ro. Bless you, my son. Break off! I suck! I might need to incorporate some cortisol in my gameplay. This is not working out so well.
Enemy here. Enemy over here.
Freaking fricker here. I'll tell you what, buddy row. Oh, that's a mistake. Okay, this is. I can't hit a shot. Yeah, you want this? Yeah, good job, buddy row. What a fool. What an absolute maroon. Thinks he's so smart. I'm gonna hook you in there and use my whole hog on you. Frick off. Oh. Come on, you rat man. Come on, you rat. Look at that. Setting him on fire. Great pull. Great pull. What a fool. What a... I thought we had that one.
Team kill.
I thought we had that one.
Till I say it's over.
Chill out, buddy row. Bro just got one shot by Roadhog. Oh my, I ran out of mouse pad space!
Who wants to fight me?
You can't heal through that! They might be able to, though. Oh, bless you, my son. Oh my gosh, I'm tracking like I'm struggling here. Frick off! Frick off! Frick off! Frick off! I've done absolutely nothing. Dude, I'm tracking like I'm on a trackball. Frick off. Oh wait, is he typing? We gotta make sure he's typing here. Do you have the shout or horn emotes? Oh, I do.
We'll make it out alive. Maybe even in one piece.
It's never boring around me.
I've got a good feeling. This could be our best mission yet.
Five, four, three, two, one. Round. Capture the objective.
Oh my gosh, I'm weak. This is awful. Cleared my angle, guys. We win now, right? Oh no. Ah! Aww. I thought I had her.
I'll just take the objective.
Thought I would give her the old 1-2.
Coming for you.
The objective is mine.
I got you on a Bana. Ah! Like Pee Wee Herman. I'm gonna hold the angle here, see if Yeah, Betty. Frick off. Holy pooty in the morning. I might be feeding here, guys. Oh my days! Feed me the vegetables!
Now we're talking.
Come on, group up. Frick off. No real. Can't really force this with where we are. After even. Surprise! Holy toots. Daddy's here. Looking for a hook off the bat, maybe? Doesn't work like that, Papa. I have no idea what you're talking about anymore. Well, that's alright. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, if it makes you feel any better. Okay. Ow! That kind of hurt. Okay, well, that was that. Another hog player taken out to pasture. Alright, I'll do one more game and then I gotta go.
Play of the game.
What was the play in that one? Which one, you two? Born too late? Born too early to explore? Born too late? Wait. Born too late to explore the world. Born too early to explore the cosmos. Just in time to explore Genji's skill ceiling. That's a great line. Thank you, YouTube. You messed up the words, but I gave you the credit. I gave you the benefit. I fixed it for you. I love that. All right, last one. We're on damage here. What do you guys want to see? Oh, not Sierra. I don't want to play Sierra. Genji, Bastion. Genji, Nonchalant, Junkrat. Dude, honestly, let's do some Nonchalant Junkrat. Let's do some low cortisol Junkrat. Low cortisol Junkrat. Low cortisol Junkrat. Low cortisol Junkrat. I'm gonna say it one more time. Low cortisol Junkrat.
Plenty of bones to go around.
I haven't played Junkrat in this map before. Frick.
And where am I instead?
Did you bring me
Over here, the Antarctic Peninsula.
Did you bring me a present?
Over here.
5, 4, 3,
Hey, watch it.
1. Round 1. Capture the
I feel like I should go top, actually. We're abandoning ship, boys. I think this angle's better for me. Just low cortisol, nothing big. Nothing big. Not a big D. You know what I'm saying? Nothing big about it. Wait, somebody just froze themselves. Controlling our angle, doing our thing. Not a big deal. As one will. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Nothing big. Nothing big. Got her with a grenade. Aw, guys. That was atrocious. At least we got the sombra. Sombra's dead, so I don't have to worry about spawn camp. Nothing big. Oh wait, that's not an angle there. I'm used to like exploring that wall here. Thank you. Oh dear. Nothing big. Nothing big. Nothing big. Nothing big. Nothing big. Ah! Nothing big, you know what I'm saying? Nothing big. Wait, what is she doing there? Nothing big. Nothing big, you know what I'm saying? Nothing big. Easy disengage for me, really. Nothing big. Just getting a trap on point, no big deal. Watch the bait here. Low cortisol, baby. That's the key. No? Wait, watch this, guys. Watch this. Okay, hang on. Bear with me. Wait, I got her on accident. Whee! Oh, he's on Roadhog. Thank you, sir. Oh, what was that hook range? That was foolish. That was a foolish hook range. Nice. Okay, Doomfist should be there soon, so Juno should die. My rollout's not too bad, so I should... Surprise, Cat died first. Everyone just range shots from Malgon to Roadhog, yeah.
Score 1-0.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. More of a war crime kind of a day. I think we go out this side.
In and out in no time.
I'd kill for some donuts right about now.
How many have you had
There's
today?
something vaguely disturbing about this emote. Am I the only one? Just like, it's uncanny.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't know.
Capture the objective.
We run away from winning, and winning is my favorite outcome.
don't like this for the enemy backline. This is not boding well for them. Holy tootie, 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 tootie. Ha 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 ho! Bless you, my son. Are you kidding me? Dude! Alright, buddy, Ro. Okay, I need to not play patty cake with that. That's not a game I can win. Projectiles! Random projectiles! Get him! I appreciate the attempt. But no. You know what? I don't give a frick. I wanted to do it! I wanted... Oh. I wanted to do it, guys.
I really love it when it's nice.
I need to go back to the angle, boys. Oh, I'm freaking dead. Ah! This is not low cortisol? Okay. Sorry. We're going back into the low cortisol realm. So I have a jetpack cat and a Juno. You know, actually, no, it doesn't matter. You're right. You're right. I'm stuck on a freaking lift thing. Low cortisol. Control my... Just relax, you know? I know you're sitting on me. Okay, I guess you just didn't go for me. Maybe that was a waste. Because you were up one when I popped it. But like I said, low cortisol, you know, so we just do things. Oh, I got her. No. Wait, I'm alive! Oh no, I'm not alive. Okay. Low cortisol tired. I mean, yeah, literally, I was camping the sombra and then she just ended up dying. All right. GG's. He doesn't know the ang? Yeah, apparently not. I've never done it before with a cat, so I gotta get over it apparently. Jonkret? Yeah. GG's. I gotta go. See you guys later. Farewell. We'll be back with the cortisol tier list maybe on Thursday. Maybe we'll do that on Thursday. GG's. Loves and kisses. See you guys later.